Joining me in our visual radio studios to talk a little bit about the upcoming visit of author Jan Brett, Flo Trujillo is back with us from the Farmington Public Library. Flo, good morning.
Good morning, Scott.
Thank you for coming in.
Oh, thank you for having us.
You bet. It's good to have you here. And also Evan Schertz is here from Maria's Bookstore in Durango. Evan, welcome to you.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming down. This is a big deal, isn't it? To
This
have
is a big deal.
Someone like Jan Brett coming to the Four Corners.
Yeah, it really is.
I mean, she has won... how many awards has she won for her books and artwork and everything, right?
I bet even she's lost count.
Probably. But this is exciting. We are bringing folks together from two different states, and Flo Trujillo, the library, is having a big event coming up where folks can meet Jan Brett, and she's coming by bus. And this is a big deal, too, for the library.
Yes, she has a rock-style bus. It's
Does
called,
it?
yes,
Yes.
and it's named The Tale of Tiger Slippers, right after her newly released book that
Right.
she is going to be making a pit stop at the Farmington Public Library.
There it is. And so we're showing our viewers the picture of the bus that will be driving into Farmington and for the event at the Farmington Public Library.
On Wednesday, December 11th, and the event will begin at 5 o'clock. We will have some kids' activities based on the Jan Brett books, actually all of her books.
Right.
And that begins at 4 o'clock.
Okay. So it is a full afternoon of activities.
It will be an activity that starts at 4 o'clock. We'll run on through 7 p.m. And Hedgie the Hedgehog will be there, too. One
Okay.
of her very beloved animals.
Good to know. That is good to know. And Evan Schertz at Maria's Bookstore, I imagine you are stocking up for this anticipated visit of Jan Brett, right?
It's overflowing in our back room right
Is
now.
it? Right. Very popular.
Very popular. And it's just been a lot of fun to see the folks that come into the store who don't know about this event, and maybe they're checking out with a book that they thought would just be a good Christmas present, and realizing that they can meet Jan Brett next week is pretty exciting.
And get it signed, perhaps,
Get it signed,
or things like
absolutely.
that. So wouldn't that be an even better Christmas gift or holiday gift? So there you go. Well, that's wonderful. And so, Flo, tell me how you were able to get Jan to come to Farmington. I mean, we're on her tour, and the bus comes here.
I'm very excited about this because the story begins way back in 1999. Before some of you were born out there, actually.
Okay,
I
right.
went to see her in Albuquerque, and she commented on my Eeyore shirt. Can you believe that?
Okay.
And so she made a comment on that, and I told her we were doing the gingerbread baby. And so she followed up and sent me a lot of autographed books. And after that, I kept wanting her to come into our area. And so I'd always send a request. And this time, she said, yes, I've got a tour bus, and we're coming through your way. So I thought, yes.
You've got her.
Took me 20 years, but it's here.
How about that? That's wonderful. And so, how early did you have to book her though to get on the tour? Because I imagine this doesn't just happen like a week or so ago.
Well, I want to say 20 years ago.
Well, okay.
But
All right.
in all honesty, I was contacted by them in April, and there was a possibility that she was going to stop here. But I did want to make sure that she came through our area and along her bus tour. So she started her bus tour. I believe it's 23 stops, and she's going across the nation in this. So we're pretty excited that we're one of the pit stops in the Four Corners.
Very excited indeed. I know a lot of folks from 2 states, probably more than 2 states, right?
Thank goodness Durango came on board to help us out from Maria's Bookshop.
Exactly. And Evan, how important is it to get an author like this to come to a local community, right, to talk about her work and to let readers interact with her?
It's rare to get an author that's this popular and this busy on a tour this jam-packed to get them into our area is difficult, and it's really exciting.
Exactly, I would think so. And so her latest book, right, this Tale of the Tiger Slippers, and of course this artwork just speaks for itself, right? Talk to me a little bit about that.
Oh my, the artwork is something else. Of course, she's very well known for her illustrations. She's
Yes.
a well-known artist with many awards, as you mentioned. And I like her sidebar art also that we will feature, but the Tale of the Tiger Slippers is from an old version. She likes to use a lot of the old Grimm stories and the old fairy tales, and I don't want to say she fractures them, but she makes them better, especially with her illustrations. So during her visit to India, in which she was, I believe, learning more about tigers, she was inspired to do this, and it's a beautiful story.
How fun to be able to do a fact-finding trip to India, right?
Oh, and
before
I'll
you
let
write
her
a
tell
children's
you
book.
all about that, because I
Yeah.
am dying to hear about that in her presentation. So
That's
she'll
right.
be doing a presentation and she'll also be illustrating, which is going to be wonderful. I hope she leaves some of those illustrated photos with us.
Oh,
or
wouldn't that
pictures.
be great? Wouldn't
Yeah.
that be wonderful? And I will let the audience know, by the way, everyone, that we're going to be joined by Jan Brett a little bit later on this morning, so don't go anywhere because Jan is going to join us from the tour bus to talk a little bit about her upcoming visit to Farmington and the Farmington Public Library, so stay tuned for that, everyone. But you mentioned some of the sidebar art, Flo
Yes.
Trujillo, and so talk to me a little bit about that, because that is really interesting too. And one of her other books that you brought, The Gingerbread Baby,
Yes.
that has some sidebar art that you're talking about, right?
Yes. Whenever you read some of Jan Brett's books, in her illustrations, there is a sidebar, and the sidebar art really complements what is in the story. And using that sidebar art, we decided to use and capture the art of the gingerbread baby.
I'm going to try to show it here while you're talking.
Okay,
so.
great. And we set it up as a story walk using a QR code at the Farmington Public Library. So you can do a self-guided story walk, or you can get online on the website and just link on it, and it'll take you directly to the story. Now, we're using Jan Brett's story that she reads to the children, and so what's really nice is it's a win-win for us being able to use that. But her artwork is about 3 foot tall, just perfect to chase the gingerbread baby around. So it's part of the story of the gingerbread boy, but she changes it up a little bit, and where I guess I'm going to do a spoiler. The gingerbread baby does not get eaten, but there is a
Okay.
surprise ending, so you'll have to come to the library and find out.
Okay, all right. Or go to Maria's bookstore, I guess, and buy the book.
You can
Either
buy
way,
the book or check it out.
You could do both, right? And Evan, talk to me about children's books and things like this that have a little bit of extra stuff to them and things that kids can discover kind of on their own. I imagine that's got to be a great selling point because children's books, it's a competitive business, I would think. And so anything that you have to maybe set your book apart from the one next to it on the shelf may be a good thing.
Absolutely. I think what makes Jan Brett's books and other ones like it so special is that it's just as fun for a parent to read to their kid as it is for the kid to read, because there's so much to discover in the book that, I mean, I love reading all of these books
Right.
to this day, and I love reading the same books that I was reading when I was 5 still, and finding new things in them that I didn't notice when I
They've
was
stuck
a kid.
with
So,
you, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And these illustrations, too, I would think, as you look at it on the screen, I mean, you can sit here and look at it and keep looking at it and find different things that are in there to pick out and to enjoy and to appreciate all the different detail that she's put into these drawings.
The pictures tell as much of a story as the words do.
They really do.
Probably more.
That's true. They really do. So it's really amazing, and we're so excited to have her come to Farmington and the Four Corners area. And so, what got Maria's involved with the library to want to partner with this event?
I think all credits due to Flo for that.
Okay.
Well, actually, one of the things that Jan Brett likes to do, she likes to highlight the bookstores in the community, and I know that she was looking at a little bit bigger bookstores. I really thought maybe Andrea's might be a very good connection with us, but I feel that going to Maria's was probably going to be a better connection for us, and it's a great way to partner in the Four Corners.
Well, I think Maria's bookstore has a great reputation about bringing in great local authors and local books and regional books and things along that line that I think folks seek out and that you can't maybe get from an online store or things like that. I won't say their name, so I won't. But
we don't say that.
Well, no, I
Yeah,
understand.
no.
Yes, sir. But but it's really important, isn't it, to know the local community and to be able to find books that would interest the local community that you can't find online.
It sure is. I think that's one of the things we pride ourselves on is this putting on events and bringing authors to just present their works and promoting that community dialogue about their works. I think that's one of the most exciting things we do.
Exactly. And again, Flo, the event is coming up here next week. It'll be December 11th at the Farmington Public Library.
Yes.
You'll see the big tour bus outside, I imagine.
Well, come bring your cameras. Oh, you've got to bring your cameras. Get a picture with her, get a selfie, bring a book, get it autographed, or you can buy a book at the Farmington Public Library. Do you want to tell them about that they'll get a special coupon?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we have first in line tickets at Maria's right now. If you get a book at Maria's before the event, we have first in line tickets because that signing line is going to be long.
I
But
bet it will be.
We'll
Okay.
also be selling all of her books at the library during the event, before the event.
Okay.
So folks
So if
can
folks
pick 'em
can't
up
get to
then.
Durango beforehand, they can still buy the books day of the event at the library through Maria's Bookstore. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Got it. But this front of the line coupon sounds like a good deal.
Pretty good deal. It's, buy any Jan Brett book at Maria's and you get a first in line ticket as long as they last. We have 50 of them.
I was going to say, how many do you have?
They're
So
limited.
50. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to be one of the first 50 in a line that's going to be a lot bigger than 50.
Sure, it's sure to be.
Yeah, I would think so. Are you ready for this, Flo Trujillo? This
are.
long line of people coming?
We are. We like to host a lot of great authors. One of the things I want to make sure of is that people know that you do not need a ticket for this event. It's a free event.
Sure.
Everyone is welcome to come.
Don't need to buy a book.
But if you buy a book from Maria's, we have the first 50 that will get in line. That way we can go ahead and organize our group so they can come in and get the book signing. And so at least if we have the first 50 set up, we can start organizing so that everyone hopefully can get the book signed, which means it doesn't have to be one that you bought. If you have one from home or if you have one in your collection, bring it down. I know that she will have some book plates on the side just in case she doesn't get to the book signing, and she may take some extra time if there is time available to do some personalized, but for the most part it's a book signing.
Right. Okay. And she will be here again all evening.
December 11th at 5 o'clock is her presentation. Come early at 4 o'clock. That way you get in. The doors will close at 5 o'clock. Her presentation will last probably until maybe 6 o'clock, and then she'll do the book signing. But we'll still have events. Visit with Hedgie the Hedgehog under the Farmington Public Library's Jan Brett Christmas tree. Take the little story walk. Bring your phone. We'll show you how to get a QR code, or we'll lend you one of our iPads.
Okay. Look at you've thought of everything.
I hope.
I think you have. You've got it all covered, I think, pretty much. But you said this very quickly. I want to make sure the audience understood that you have a Jan Brett themed Christmas tree at the Farmington Public Library.
Absolutely, and the gingerbread baby, you can chase him around and read the story and then see the little gingerbread house. You get lots of opportunities for those great Christmas pictures.
Wonderful. And what is it about children's books that really stick with us throughout our lives, Flo Trujillo? I mean, you have been working with kids and libraries, and I mean, they just really have a place in our hearts. As Evan was saying, he still has his book when he was younger.
They sure do. There's the nostalgia feel about that. I know that there's the wonderful downloadable books, which are great, but there's just something about picking up that book and reminding yourself when you were in the first grade or when you were a baby and your parents read that story to you. So there's a nostalgic feel to it. Everyone can always remember their favorite story. If they can't, all they need to do is walk to the library and pop, it comes out and talks to them.
That's very true, and we've seen that time and time again with some of the events that you have at the library, and walking through the aisles at Maria's Bookstore. Same thing. You get a lot of those same types of things, and we talk a little bit about our society and going to electronic books and audiobooks and things like that, which are also very popular, but there's still nothing like holding a book and turning those pages. You certainly can't have Jan Brett sign your iPad. I guess you could, but there's still something about an actual physical book that you can hold and enjoy, right? I mean, obviously, you see that every day at Maria's.
There's just no alternative to it. And, imagine, picking up this Tale of the Tiger Slippers in 20 years, seeing that signature in there and knowing that, I think it like Flo was saying, it just brings back so many memories of childhood. There's nothing like it.
Sure. Well, and it gives you memories of that event too, I guess, of when you stood in line and got Jan Brett and met her and had her sign your book, and it's a great keepsake all those years later. So it's wonderful, and it's great to have again local bookstores around to help us facilitate some of these things, which is wonderful. Flo Trujillo, what else is coming up at the library? I know this is the big event, right?
Yes,
but
yes.
I know there's a lot of other things happening. Briefly, of course, the Solstice event will be happening later in December.
On the 21st, and we will have the Shade drummers who will be there. And everything starts at 11:45. It's a very quick party, so get there on time.
But it's the fastest, best party in town at around noon on the Solstice at the library. That's true.
It is, and I get the opportunity to show Evan our library. He hasn't been to our library, so I'll get to point point that out for him. I think he might enjoy that.
Yes.
We have a lot of other things. The Real Readers is always a big thing, and we have our no school days for the kids. So parents, when you don't find something for your kids to do, bring them by the library. We have lots of literacy events. We have Minecraft. We have Girls Who Code. We have gaming. We have a lot of literacy events that connect back to our books. But more importantly, we want you to check out those books. If you can't, visit the website, and if you have your library card, you can also download the books. We may not have a lot of Jan Brett books out available as much as what you might be looking for. They're all checked out, but we do have downloadables.
Right.
But
True. Good point.
do still come by the library and check something out and use it during the holiday whenever you don't have anything to do during the winter time.
There you go. Or if you're going on a road trip, you can download something to listen to in the car, right, as you're heading out. Some of those.
Absolutely. Or take the books with you. Why not pile up a stack of books?
There you go. That's perfect.
Visit Maria's and get a basket full of books, too.
You can do that as well. But again, the website is infoway.org to find out more about what we're talking about this
Yes.
morning, and that's where you can find out more about the information. I know, Evan, a book is a great gift idea. Here we are in holiday season, and again, as we've mentioned, Maria's does a great job of finding local, regional interest books and things like that you really can't find in a lot of other places, and that's to your credit.
We do our best. I think it's the most fun time in the store because, what every bookseller loves is just to have someone ask, well, what should I get for my son or daughter or spouse or whatever it is? Pick out a book for me. That's
right.
We love that.
Sure.
So the holidays are a really fun time at Maria's. This is definitely our big event that we're putting most of our energy into. We have Noel night in Durango this Friday, so that's a really fun Friday evening. All the stores downtown are putting on sales or events, and it's just a fun, festive atmosphere to sort of kick off the holiday season. So
that's great.
We're looking forward to that as well.
Very, very good. And again, partnering with the Farmington Public Library for this big event is got to be a great thing as well. But you've got plenty of Jan Brett books, at least as of this interview this morning.
Yeah, they're flying off the shelf.
Right. But so far, you still have them, right? There's not a big run just yet, but they're good. There probably will be.
There probably will be, but we feel like we've planned it out well.
I think that you probably have, and it's not your first rodeo probably either to have a big author coming to town to at least visit with the community, right?
No, it's not.
So
we think we know what we're doing.
I bet you do. That's very true.
And we're really excited. Scott, I do want to mention, though, that Jan Brett is providing this opportunity for us free of charge. So what an opportunity for us. Usually an author of that caliber is really very, very steep and deep in our pockets. So
right.
Being able to acknowledge and thank her for the opportunity to come through our community is really priceless.
No kidding. That's very true. And kudos to her for making herself available.
Yes.
And on her way through on her tour. And again, she is traveling throughout the Southwest on her bus, and like a rock star, like you said. And so
from Massachusetts through California.
She is heading coast to coast.
Rock star style.
There you are. And the event here in Farmington is December 11th. Jan Brett will be here, of course, and the event starts at 5 o'clock.
At 5 o'clock.
Until 7 o'clock?
Till 7 o'clock. Come early for the Jan Brett activities, and that way you ensure that you get in for the book signing and the presentation, which is, you don't want to miss that.
Yes, because then she'll be talking a little bit more about her inspirations and her trip to India,
and
probably.
Her trip to India is what I want to find out. I found out she's a marathon runner, and when she was running one time when she was in India, you might ask her about this, she realized that she had seen a beautiful cat, and later found out it was a wild cat.
Oh, wow.
And there was also, I think, another cat while she was running. Is that just scary?
Interesting. Well, I'll ask her.
I'd like to hear more about that.
I will ask her in just a few moments here, so that sounds great. Well, thank you both for coming in this morning. Evan, thank you very much for being here from Maria's Bookstore in Durango. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you so much for
Can you
having
tell
me.
them where it's at?
Yes.
Yeah, Maria's Bookshop
I hope people know, but in case they don't.
If you haven't been, it's at 960 Main Avenue in Durango.
Right downtown.
Right downtown.
You really
Hard
can't
to miss it.
miss it.
We're open 9 to 9 every day, so no excuse.
Come check it out. That's true. And there's a big event later on Friday night, you were saying. So
That's right. Noel night's a great time to come down. We have discount dice, so discounted purchases on everything in the store, and should be a fun time.
All right, very good. And Flo Trujillo, of course, it's always great to see you and have you here to talk about all the great things the library brings to our community. So thank you for being here.
Oh, Scott, thank you always for all your support of the library. We really appreciate it, and our community.
Well, it's a great partnership, so we're glad to do it with you. So thank you so
Scott.
much, Flo Trujillo, very much. I'll be back with more, everyone, including Jan Brett, in just a moment. This is KSJE.